Hey everybody, welcome back. We are talking about syllabus in this video, and once again I wanted to get us started out by jumping into how do you log on, Pasadena.edu, the Canvas LMS Learning Management System can be accessed over here, the login. You got your Lancer point option here, and you just go directly to your Canvas. Once you get in there, you got your dashboard, you got all your enrollments up here. So our class is, you're going to be either 77041 or 76098. I'm going to be using this video for both of those classes. So let's take a look at what the syllabus looks like. In the welcome video, I kind of walked you through the module. So here we're just going to go right into the syllabus. You pop into that module. You could download the syllabus. You can say download syllabus, and you can save it to your desktop, and then you have quick access to it without having to go through Canvas every single time. I'm going to go ahead and open it up with Adobe Acrobat, Syllabus TVR 1. Well, an introduction to electronic media. So here your CRN may be different depending on which class you're in. We're meeting now until December 13th. I believe is the last day of this semester. My name is here. This is a phone number you can reach me through. It's not an actual direct number to my cell phone, but it is Google Voice that links up to my cell phone. A good way to contact me is also through email, jpatrick2@pasadena.edu. I check it regularly. I will have some office hours in which I will be available to talk to you about whatever it is that you need to talk about or want to talk about. Similar to office hours on campus, I will be available. I turn my Zoom on and basically just have it open so anyone can pop in at those time frames. So the time frames are Tuesdays from 1 to 3, Wednesdays from 10 to 12, Thursdays from 10:30 to 12. And this is the Zoom link you would select to join in with me on that particular session. Some important dates. I'll go over this real fast because this is the same for all your classes. Last day to add, September 7th. Last day to drop with a refund, September 7th. Last day to drop without a W, September 7th. Last day to drop with a W. That's not quite as pleasant. You get a W on your record. But, sometimes you got to drop, I understand. And November 13th is the last day to do that. After November 13th, you cannot drop. You're stuck. You're going to either get whatever grade you're going to get. You don't have the option to drop. Okay, course description is right here. Overview of the electronic media, industry, history, law, business operations, economics, new technologies, career opportunities, and the future of electronic media industry. 54 hours of lecture. Not going to be 54 hours of videos of me talking. So it's different this semester. It's going to be a lot of, you're going to be reading on your own. And I'm planning on having an online Zoom meeting once every 2 weeks. So the classes will go back and forth, and that will be most likely on Thursdays. I'll give you more details on that very soon. Methods of instruction. We're going to have some videos you can watch of me talking, not too many. There's going to be a lot of discussions. There's going to be some case studies. We're going to do some reports. And there's going to be quizzes, and there's going to be assignments. So we will get a little variety. Required text. There is no text required. Fortunately, through the preparation for this class, I found some interesting materials and a lot of videos and other things that I think pertain really well to this class. So I'm going to try to do it this semester with no official text. However, there's going to be a lot of online resources that are available to you at no cost. So please be able to access those materials. You need a computer, ideally. You can get by with an iPad. Sure. All right. But a computer would be preferred. You get a better experience that way. Also, a high-speed internet connection, obviously very crucial. These are some technological requirements. I'm going to try to get this done within the next 5 minutes. So that's my goal. So we're going to move a little faster. SLOs. Those are all listed here. Feel free to look at those. They are pretty much what we base all of our material on. Does it meet one of these student learning outcomes? Tried to pare it down so the material that we present to you really targets one of these outcomes. Okay. Attendance policy, just like in a physical class, your participation is essential. Some ways that participation are determined include: are you replying to the discussion topics? Are you submitting assignments? Are you completing the reports and projects? Are you participating in the synchronous meetings? Well, you're optional for this class. However, highly encouraged. So the first assignment you're going to be doing is the check-in assignment. It's kind of just a get-to-know you kind of a thing. That's due by 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, August 26th. It's essentially kind of like showing up to class for the first day. If you don't do it, then we'll assume that you're not interested and we'll just drop you off the bus. So if you don't want to get dropped off, and if you do get dropped off, you could still add. You have until September 7th to join back up again, but that's a hassle for you. You don't want to go through that. All right, so just make sure you do that. How can I tell if you're participating? Well, Canvas is cool. It gives you a report of all the students' activity. So I know whether you're spending 10 minutes a week or 10 hours a week on Canvas. Then it's pretty telling. I can generally, look at the participation level on Canvas, and it usually correlates very well to how the student's performing in the class. Okay. If you are getting an A, there's a good chance you are spending a reasonable amount of time per week. I would say a minimum of 4 hours a week toward this class is fairly expected at this point. All right. If you're not participating, there's a chance that you can be dropped if you don't turn in your assignments, and you're just unheard from, radio silence, we like to say. There's a good chance I might have to drop you, and I can do that within the PCC policy. However, I never like to do that until I reach out to you and try to find out what's going on in your lives. So I know things happen, people get sick, families get, issues, people have work, all these good things happen, and not usually good things. The challenges of life get in the way of class occasionally. And that's understandable, but if we talk about it, I usually can, encourage you to try to figure out a way to make it all work out. So anyway, you can look at the participation policy. For 3 consecutive weeks, it turns out you're not doing anything, you haven't done anything. Call you, I can reach you, great. If not, okay, moving on. Late work. This is another important topic, probably the last thing I'm really going to talk about. This is I think a fairly generous policy as far as late work goes. There are going to be due dates for everything, and every week there's going to be probably 3 things you're going to have to be responsible for. There's a discussion, there's going to be some sort of a quiz, and then also some sort of an assignment. So you're going to be fairly busy, but it's a lot of material to keep up with. But I do have a fairly flexible grace period, which is up to 2 days late. For instance, most Saturday nights are going to be the due date. Saturday night, 11:59 p.m. That's the due date. So 2 days later, that's actually, so you can have up to Monday night at 11:59 p.m. After that, though, you start getting deducted basically a letter grade per day. So if you're 3 days late, we'll knock you down. No matter how good you do, you get knocked down on letter grade. 4 days late, you get knocked down on letter grade. So the best you can do after 4 days is a C. Best you can do after 5 days is a D. Best you can do after 6 days is basically an F. 7 days, you can still turn it in, but the best you can do is a 50%. So say for the 50-point assignment, the best you can do is a 25 points. But I like to say that's so much better than a 0. It could be the difference between getting a D in the class and getting a B in the class. Seriously. So even if it's 3 weeks late, I will accept it. But the most you can get, so you know, is that the half, 50% of whatever the value of that assignment is. All right, some other things. If you are missing due to illness or family situations, these are how the points break down. This is a schedule of events. We're going to do orientation the first week, talk about printing, then spend a couple weeks on radio, a couple weeks on television, a couple weeks on new media delivery. We're going to do a midterm after that. We're going to talk about advertising. We're going to talk about some programming, recording industry, ethical and legal issues, regulatory. So that's kind of the overall structure there. Some other topics down here include policies that are related to plagiarism. You can take a look at those at your leisure. Pretty much I just go with the standard PCC policies in regards to all of those types of things. All right, well, I extended past the 10-minute mark, but I'm not going to redo it because this is pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So I will talk to you guys again very soon, and feel free to drop me an email or text message if you need to. I will see you around the internet soon.